Okay, I'm all ready for you.
Yay! All right, here we go. Breathe in deep. For the best and good and highest of all.
To the great.
Best outcomes. Choop. All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to another episode of Soul Nectar Show, that show where we talk about all things essence, where we gather around the campfire and we share our stories of connection to that which is bigger than us, to the big mystery, the divine, the beyond the veil, the who knows what's going on, but we like to talk about it here at Soul Nectar Show. Share all of our stories. I'm your host, Carrie Hummingbird, and I love having these conversations to just share, our personal experiences and our insights. And I like to interview amazing people who have gone the distance in their own lives and who lead other people on their own journeys, because then we can get into some juicy stuff. And today will definitely be very exciting, because today I have on the show Satyen Raja, who I know through the Evolutionary Business Council and personally worked with, and we're going to discuss some awesome things. Welcome, Satyen.
Thanks again for having me, Carrie. It's always great being with you.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I'll tell you guys a little bit about it in a second, but I want to tell you guys that Satyen is actually a founder of Warrior Sage, which is a program he and his wife, Suzanne, created to activate leaders with powerful missions to bring their dreams into reality. And for over 2 decades, they've been utilizing their wisdom, transformational enlightenment methodologies to provide hundreds of trainings and workshops internationally, teaching tens of thousands of students in the art of the warrior, the art of the sage, and the art of the lover. And based on Satyen's immersion in martial arts and his related philosophy, he's synthesized and distilled the most applicable, direct, life-affirming, enhancing, accelerating, evolution quickening methods for the liberation of one's personal love and freedom. And I can say that it was so powerful with you. It was a year ago almost by the time that...
I lost your sound there for a sec. Your microphone sound.
Oh, dang.
There we go.
Oh, I really enjoyed working with you about a year ago, doing our Evolutionary Business Council retreat with you, and just so powerful. The presence, I still have it. Presence, invitation, self-expression, surrender, penetration, and claim. And I still have it on my little notes, right? I'm always reminding myself, what are you in? Are you in presence right now? Are you in self-expression? So these are the qualities of the leader, the leader that you were instilling us each to find within ourselves and to express through the work that we did at your workshop. And so tell us more about the work that you're doing with conscious leadership, because right now on the planet, I think we all agree, we need some conscious leaders on the planet. What does that mean to you, and how do you go about that?
Well, for me, the essence of the world problems, micro to macro, are all based on our depth and degree of consciousness and how we express and live and activate our depth and degree and maturity of consciousness. And when we're in a suppurative mind state, when it's me oriented for thousands of years, the focus has been on fulfilling the ego, the survival centers, the lower chakra, survival, sex, power. And that is a very powerful evolutionary step to go from basically sludge and then become more and more sophisticated, to cave person, to more and more sophisticated to who we are today. So we're going through this evolutionary experience of lower values, virtues, models. I mean, we need survival. We need the bottom end of hierarchy of needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But after a while, if we continue to utilize our survival mechanics, it's what we're doing to the world. We continue to draw from the world. And in business, I truly believe that it's us business leaders that are either going to destroy the world based on our rampant desire for consumerism, selling, and all of that, micro, macro levels, or we as entrepreneurs can change the whole trajectory of this planet for its highest evolution, its highest good. And to have that, to move to that, I believe us as leaders, we have to be able to consistently, well, first of all, we need to have our consciousness cracked open to discover our true nature, which is symbiotic and in relationship with the whole. It's one thing we could read 1,000 books on philosophy, hundreds of talks on our oneness, but until us as leaders have the actual, tangible, tacit experience that we are in union with all that there is, then it'll just be intellectual. But that first experience is what elevates our consciousness, I believe. And when we feel that we are truly, not just intellectually, but we get it at a body level, we are the symbiotic relationship of all existence, then how that appears in our businesses, we start to see our teammates not just as separate people that come and go, our suppliers, our offerings. We see ourselves as an offering to the great planet, to all that is. And we see ourselves in unity and in flow with that, all that is. And that state of consciousness, what I call transcendent leadership, allows us to create magnificence because we're connected to the macro unity that we all are, and in our day-to-day actions and how we run everything is congruent with the unity that we hold in our heart. That's transcendent leadership, and it's time now, I truly believe, for all of us to embrace that and to live it.
I love that. And what's been coming to me lately is these questions around, well, why don't people see this as a really beautiful thing, that we're all in unity? And what came to me, Satyen, was this idea of, have you ever played around the family holiday table some Monopoly?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, and so a while into Monopoly, then somebody who's winning is really excited about continuing the game. They're so winning, that they don't want to stop the game.
Yes.
But the rest of us are getting our butts a little bit sore. We're tired of sitting. We want to go outside and play and do another game or do something else. We don't really want to play this game anymore. And I feel that's really the conversation that's happening on the planet. There's some people who are really winning at Monopoly and they don't want to stop. And the rest of us don't want to play that game anymore. We want to play a different game.
Absolutely. And, even meta to that is just the consciousness that we're playing a game.
Yeah.
And that we can walk in and play the game and not. Many times we can get, if in Monopoly, I know, I don't play so much anymore, but years back when our family, when we played Monopoly, inevitably some people get very heated.
Yes, and very angry, like you just won them over or something, and now you have to pay. They have to pay you to cross their property.
All of those dynamics that happen in a game. Now, here's the thing about a game, whether it's Monopoly, whether it's chess, you have to take the infinity that you are, the infinity, the endless possibilities of movements that you are, reduce yourself. So if I'm using chess as a metaphor, I have to reduce, first of all, I have to take who I am as infinity, this great being of capacities. I don't even have to play the game. But then I have to reduce myself and make myself into a multiplicity from my oneness state. There's something, now I have to be the king, the queen, all these pieces in the back row. I have to be all the, what are the calls again in the front? The
pawns.
The pawns in the front row. So on purpose, I have to take on multiplicity consciousness, subdivide my attention, and then create a battlefield war game. And I got to take it, if I'm wanting to play the game with some worth, I have to take it with, I have to forget I'm Satyen, I have to be these players. And then I got to get into a virtual battle with another for this, and you can get so entrenched in it. But wisdom, awakening, enlightenment is when you can play the game no matter what the outcome is, and then remove your game. Hey, that was a great game. High five, how awesome that was. But if you're carrying the residue, God, I can't stand you, how you did that. I don't like the way you won. Next time I'm going to win. You're carrying the illusionary game into your deeper state or your waking state of consciousness, which is silly. It's a game. Wisdom is to pack that game up, to recognize there's wins, learnings, insights, and joy and fun that can come out of the game, and then pack it away and then be in true conscious connection again. I believe
the thing is not to take it as part of your identity.
Exactly. And then that same metaphors applies to business.
Yes.
Applies to how we run our things. We are a conscious being. We can do whatever we want, truly. It's from our freedom. See, in transcendent leadership, You don't do things to become free. You don't win that extra million. You don't work harder. You don't do more to gain more freedom. That's the paradox, because it never happens. What happens is you got to find, where am I free right now? Well, I'm free to have this interview. Not too many people are free to have an interview in the middle of the afternoon. I have enough freedom.
That's a lot of freedom.
So do you, to be able to generate this interview. That's you. So we have to look at, what is the freedom? Well, I've got a roof over my head. I'm free. I can have a meal today. I've got a bottle of water that I can drink. I'm free enough to have that. So when we recognize, where as entrepreneurs, business leaders, are we already free? What is already free? And it's from that freedom you desire to generate more freedom for yourself, your families, your teams, your organization. Then we create a healthy expansion rather than neurotically trying to get more free. We have in our unconscious self an aspect of our mind that's always looking for freedom that will eventually happen. It's the masculine illusion. One day when I have checked off this, then I'll be free. And the thing is, that list never ends.
It's a never-ending list, and it's onto the or you could easily replace the word free with success. Well, then if I have this, then I'll be successful. But I have my international best-selling book, and then I'll be successful. And I'll have this, and then I can rest. No, because then it's not about, you're onto the next thing, and you're like, oh, now I got to do this. Oh, now I got to do this goal. It's like a moving target. And we got to stay where we got to be happy right now with this.
The illusion in that is that this external check mark, when I make that, when I do this, when I have the book finished, then I'll be free. Then I'll have the space. Then I'll have the freedom. The reinforcement of the illusion happens when we do that. And we reinforce the illusion that there's a later win that'll take care of the tension right now. But you can never do it. The feminine illusion is, one day when I do this and this, I'll be finally loved. The love will flow. The masculine illusion is, when I do this and this, finally one day I'll be free enough to do what I want, when I want, how I want, in the way I wish to do it. And we have to wrestle in that illusionary part of our mind that future projects onto things, and we make those things important. We take away the true value of who we are, and then we project the importance on the finishing of a book. Look, I've got a handful of books I'm working on. Almost no books I've made have done anything for my business. I've done thousands of videos. Almost none of those videos they've done all the things that all the great marketing wizards and this and this and this. I've got the best.
I love you're saying that.
I've got the most amazing business cards in the world. I've invested in the best websites, and almost none of that, or if it has, it's amounted bit by bit incrementally. That's all bullshit, is what I want to get across. In transcendent business, it's the commitment to your own evolution, to being the spark of your highest reality, to recognize I'm an embodiment of the divine right here, right now, and to put yourself in a situation and in a culture where power, love, freedom, flow, and wisdom are your mainstay. When that happens, then you'll care less about the future. And what will happen is there'll be a true power and freedom. You'll start magnetizing to you rather than clamoring for success and freedom and love.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. I'm experiencing this right now, Satyan. This is so exciting to have you say this. Because when I launched my book last year, I got a download. It came from my higher guidance. Said, you're going to write this book. I said, I don't even know what this is. What the heck am I doing? I write the book. I get it out there. That thing's been on the international bestseller list for 28 weeks. And that's as of the recording today, which is in February. So I was like, whoa, I didn't hire a book publisher. Once a week I put a meme on. I say, hey, we just did another week, but that's it. And it's still going. And people ask me, Carrie, what's your secret? I'm connected with my to my inner authority. Like I am just in my inner authority now. It's the only difference. I just am in my knowing, and I don't need to clutch anything. Like I'm not clutching, I'm not reaching, I'm not grasping. I'm just, if anything, I'm using psychic telepathy to say, hey, this book's available, anybody that wants it. And I broadcast a little message psychically out there. And then, people that are awake pick it up. That's pretty much it. Like,
bravo.
I'm not going to reach the unwoke, but, I mean.
Look, bravo. And how I contribute that or attribute that success is your contact. Contact, yes. Contact, connection is the carrier wave of everything. It's not the content. It's the contact, the connection. So the fact that you went, yes, my people, here I've shared this into the world. Yes, my beloveds, here's my offering into the world. But the key is you lower the importance on the stuff you're creating. Because as creators, as guides, helpers, business people, we tend to overly attribute importance on the stuff we create because we think it comes from us. And part of it does. But the paradox, the Zen is, the warriorship is to say, hold on a sec. Yes, beautiful. Downloads this came to be. The hardest part and the part that I'm going to share that you've been practicing and applying and you're seeing your book grow is the lowering of importance to the very things you create yourself.
I don't even think about it, to be honest. Like, I don't stress about it. I don't think about it. I check it every so often, but it's like when I check it, I'm like delighted. I'm like, woohoo! It's like this, like a little kid on Christmas morning. Like, what's going to be here today? But I know I'm not doing it. That's the big thing. Like Carrie in the body, Carrie isn't doing that. That's happening through me because it needs to happen. Period. It's not about me. It's just I was an available vessel to make it happen, and maybe there was a soul agreement or something, but that's just sort of all like story around it, right? The fact is that it's just happening through me because I was available. And I said yes, and I did it. Period. It's needed. So I think that what you're talking about is like if people could get into that space of tuning in, like really tuning into their higher self, to the collective consciousness or the planet, like all these larger bodies, and say, okay, how can I be in service now? You want success? Tune into that and then do the thing that is needed right now.
Absolutely. Bam.
Then you'll be needed. Then you'll be needed. It'll be shared. This whole thing is connected, Satyen. It's all connected in a vast web of consciousness. Everything's alive into the trees. Everything's talking. And I know I'm just going to say that. People are like, oh, it's crazy. But when you're connected to it, you know it. So.
Yes.
So awesome. It's so awesome.
Now, what do we do when we don't feel interconnected?
Yes, let's talk about that.
What do we do when we don't feel any of this? When we don't feel expansive and all of that? And that's where spiritual practice comes in. Okay? We cannot let ourselves be defeated by conditions that contract us. You see, in our subconscious mind, whenever we're going for something and it's not working out the way we want, we're pushing all hard and it's not going the way we want, or we self-sabotage by quitting as we move forward, or we get moody, or things happen when the roof breaks, you're moving forward and then this doesn't work out, and it just seems like stuff is in the way for the full flowering of one's freedom, success, and love. From what I found in my experience, it has a lot to do with decisions of defeat. Now let me explain this. So somewhere along the line, we made a decision. We were going towards that decision. We want that. And then something didn't work out the way we wanted. In that moment, it didn't work out the way we wanted. We felt, oh, darn, or crap, or this. And we made a subvocal or an unconscious decision, or even a conscious one. I'll never do that again. So an example was when I was a youngster, young fellow. There was a girl I liked in junior high, and I was drumming up all the courage to talk to her a few words at lunchtime. This is near the end of the school year before summer. And I drummed up enough confidence. I like girls. I'm going to approach this girl named Kathy. Well, I said, hi, Kathy, would you like to go for lunch? and she had her friends next to her that started giggling at me. And I was like, like this, and I felt shamed and down. So in that, my first decision was girls are wonderful, beautiful, let's move towards them. And then that moment that I experienced the defeat of my confidence, I went, girls are dangerous. They can shame you. So now, for years, when I was a younger fellow, I would go and then something would happen unconsciously and I'd go the opposite way. So
yeah, you would just like your inner guidance or your inner protection system, it's called that. It kept steering you away from the thing that was causing the trouble.
exactly.
Before.
So how many of these decisions have we made in a moment that we've been defeated that are unconsciously running and they're clashing with our true desires? So many. So the way to heal that, to bring that into wholeness, is to recognize when there's repetitive stuff that's keeping you from, if you're experiencing omens and weird stuff that continuously stops you, whether it's internally generated or externally, know that you've added too much importance to things. That you've made a decision somewhere in your background of a defeat, even though it might look, why would I want myself to be defeated as I'm growing my business? Well, maybe you made a decision. If I grow too far, I might be doing better than my parents.
Oh, that's a big one.
I might make so much money and do so well that I'll be seen as a person who has money, which is not liked by half of my family. People who are like, they don't like people who have money because they've been stepped on by other people in the past. On and on and on, excuse, reason after a while. We must be warriors to hunt within ourselves the decisions we made of under defeated conditions that are counter to what we really want, and then start releasing them, become whole with them. Recognize we don't need to live that way anymore. We can choose new ways.
Yeah, you got to bring yourself out of this space of the wound. You have to see it that's even there. Like for me, for years I wanted to speak. I knew I had the inner calling. I knew I needed to do it. Seen or I'm not heard or like all of this stuff. So I started doing like really even more intense inner work. And I do a lot of inner work with plant medicine and all kinds of things that open up my consciousness and see like, whoa, can I help me see the shadows? I call them the shadows. Help me see the shadows so I can see what they are. And it's in the body too. Like I'm still experiencing the openings of this, I'm still in process on this, and I'm getting ready to. I'm working on my next book, which is Healing the Mother Wound.
Oh,
woo! It's a big one,
big one.
And my butt hurts. Like to be quite frank,
yes.
It's hurting my ass. My mom used to tell me a lot. You're a pain in the ass, Carrie. So anyway, I'm healing my body, which got these messages, right? And letting it go. Like no, that was just from a time when I was with somebody that. Didn't understand or there had whatever was going on with them. And so, yeah, putting too much importance on it or too much fear, like in my case, like a little child within me thinking, oh, you're not going to be safe if you go and do this. So I'm going to try to hold you back by putting physical discomfort in your way. See how invasive it is? It's like in your body.
So awakeness, transcendence, is the ability to not just collapse into the stuff that's bothering you and embody it, but to breathe with it, to feel it fully. I'm less than, I'm more, I don't feel right, I feel my ass hurting, my butt. But then taking your breath of awareness and expanding it to fill the whole room with who you are. So now the stuff going on is here located, but you're the presence that's filling up the whole room, filling up the whole house, home that you're in, filling up the car, filling up
taking up as much space as I need.
And then you become the expansion. You let your aura go as wide as it possibly can. Now you feel and watch all this, the butt ache and all of that. And now you're able to start to loosen up its grip of control over you. And if you really look in that expanded state, when you do feel contrite, you have to counter the contraction. You have to say no.
It takes work. You can't just sit there with it. You got to work it. Like
it's a spiritual martial art.
Yeah, it's spiritual. And it's like being with it listening to it, feeling it, being willing to feel the pain of it. Like, okay, compassion for the part of me that put it there, not knowing any better. All of that, like, this is all part of my journey right now. It's really intense. I'm really looking forward to completing this book and getting into a different container.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
But this is what it looks like, Satyen. Like, people don't maybe sometimes realize, if they're not conscious yet, that the body's constantly speaking to us with exactly what it is that's holding us back. Louise Hayes has a great word on this.
You know what? I'd like to propose, if you're open to doing something right now.
Please, yeah.
And so I'd like to, if you'd like, and everyone watching and listening, you can go through this too. And all you need is a pen and paper. And if you don't have one, it's okay. I'll guide you through it anyways, okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
So everyone, I'm going to ask you to not just listen passively. Please join in, and we're going to find an area that you feel some type of stuckness, contracture, upset, anger, smallness, limitation. So you talked about the mother wound. Let's work on that. And if anyone has some wound with a parent or some wound with someone and you'd like to transform it, let's dive into it right now. It'll take no more than 10 minutes.
Let's do it.
You ready? Okay, so everyone, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to go to the last time you felt this upset. So Carrie, your situation is, I want you to put it in a short, succinct sentence. Everyone at home, write down on a piece of paper or contemplate in a short, concise sentence what your biggest problem is. So how would you mention it, Carrie? How would you say it?
My biggest issue up until now with stepping out as a thought leader has been that I've had fear of my mom being really upset with me for doing this work publicly. And she's now not speaking to me, so there is some reason for that fear.
Okay, so what's the...
Yeah, so that's the thing. I feel fear. I actually feel like, and I know it's from my childhood. I know it's from being a little child.
Okay, so at this stage, we don't even need to get into the why, how it was formed. I want you to get into the upset with your mom. Feel it fully. The last time it was really prominent in you. Whoever's at home, find someone or something or a situation that you have tension and contraction with and feel it fully. Don't withdraw or just watch it. Dive into it. Get associated and feel it fully. See what you saw then. Hear what you heard then. Feel what you felt then. And make it 10 out of 10 on the internal dial of strength. And follow along here. So Carrie, where do you feel this most strongly in your body?
Well, when I'm feeling the scene, I feel it in my stomach.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I want you to recognize that this feeling that you have in your body, this upset, everyone, is an aspect of yourself, of your totality. So know that we're going to be connecting with this aspect as an aspect of your totality. Use your imagination to fill in the blanks here. If this aspect in you, this upset, had a shape, what shape would you give it?
Like a expanding explosion of fire.
Okay. If it had a color, what would it look like?
Like reds and oranges and yellows.
How big is it?
It's pretty big.
Everyone answer this in your own way, okay, at home. And how heavy is it? Give it some weight, pounds.
It has more force than heaviness. Like it just has like explosive quality to it.
Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most powerful, 1 not so much, how strong is this over your life? How controlling is this over your life?
I'm seeing a 7.
Okay. And trust your intuition here. Let go of all logical mind. And how old is this energy? Everyone at home can voice it out in your own way.
Feels really old, actually, beyond this lifetime.
Okay, so old, beyond this lifetime. All right, so everyone, including yourself, Carrie, I want you to speak to this aspect as an aspect of your total self. And you can say this, aspect, I know you wish me well because you're part of me. Go ahead.
Aspect, I know you wish me well because you are part of me.
I ask that you communicate with me fully so we can grow together.
I ask that you communicate with me fully so that we can grow together.
All right, so now turn to your aspect within and say, what goal do you have for me with this manifestation?
What goal do you have for me with this manifestation?
What do you wish for me to achieve, to attain?
What do you wish for me to achieve, to attain?
So just open right up and tell me the first thing that comes up.
Liberation.
Okay, write that down on the bottom of your page. Now we're going to make a pyramid that goes from the bottom up. So now join your aspect as a team inside your imagination. Everyone at home, Carrie, you and your aspect together as a team inside your imagination, inside your soul. Create the goal of liberation, being absolutely attained and realized 100%. Absolutely realized and attained 100%. However you would feel that, see that, know that, whatever that would look like, even if it's in the future. And don't stop at 90 or 99%. Give me a wave. Everyone at home also give a wave. Even though we can't see it directly, give a wave when you've achieved 100% liberation as attained.
Okay.
Very good. Ground in that. Celebrate that. Stabilize in that state of being. Very good. And don't drop from there. Stabilize in it. Now, everyone, turn to your aspect again and say, now that we've achieved that goal, what goal is even higher, more important, even more spiritual? Go ahead and say that.
Okay, aspect. Now that we've achieved that goal, what goal is even higher, more spiritual than liberation that we can achieve together?
And say the first thing that pops up.
Love.
Beautiful. Write that down above your last goal. Everyone can do the same. Just trust your inner voice. Now, join your aspect as a team inside your soul again. And create the new goal of love. Being absolutely realized and attained.
Okay.
Stabilize in it. Celebrate this at a soul level. Ground in it. Become one with it. And magnify love. Those of you at home, magnify this next goal. Fully achieved. That's it. Celebrate it at soul level. Now, turn to your aspect again. And say, now that we've achieved, and in your case it's love, everyone at home, whatever it is for you, now that we've achieved this goal, what goal is even higher, more important, more spiritual?
Aspect. Now that we have achieved this goal of love, what goal is even more high, more important,
spiritual.
more spiritual?
Beautiful. And remain wide open and tell me the first thing that comes up.
Compassion.
Beautiful. Write that down above your last goal. Everyone at home do the same. And then join your aspect again as a team inside your being and create the goal of compassion as absolutely realized and attained. Deep compassion. And whatever it is for you at home, make sure you achieve that goal 100%.
Yes.
Stabilize in this state. Celebrate this. Expand it in all directions. Excellent. Very good. We're going to continue to going up a couple of more rungs. Well done so far. Stay with the process. So now that you've achieved compassion, ask your aspect. Say, what goal do you have for me that is even higher, more spiritual, more important?
Aspect. What goal do you have for me that is even higher, even more spiritual, even more important? Human.
Being human? Very good. So thank your aspect. You can write it down as well above your last goal. Those of you at home, write it down as well. You're doing excellent here. Let's continue. So now join your aspect as a team inside your being and create the goal of being totally human. Achieve that fully. All the way to 100%. And whatever your goal is at home, achieve it 100%. And once you've done that, celebrate it and stabilize in this new state of consciousness.
Okay.
Very good. Celebrate this, ground in it. And now turn to your aspect one last time and say, now that we've achieved the goal of being human, or whatever yours was, what goal is even higher, even more spiritual?
Aspect, now that we've achieved the goal of being human, what goal is even more spiritual, even higher, even more important? Feel.
Very good. Whatever is yours is, write it down above your last goal. And now achieve that goal fully. Join your aspect as a team inside your being. Okay, feel, achieve that goal absolutely. And let me know when you've done that.
Yep.
Stabilize in this state. Celebrate the state of being. And we're going to ask one more time your aspect. Some of you may have nothing else is coming up. For some of you who have nothing else is coming up, enter that nothingness. Join that void, that space of divine active emptiness. Become one with it. Merge with it. Those who haven't, turn to your aspect and say, what goal do you have for me that's even higher?
What goal do you have for me, aspect, that's even higher, more spiritual, and more important? It's just kind of like a beingness. It's just...
Nothing else coming up?
No.
Okay. Enter that nothingness that's higher than your last goal, this beingness state. Everyone now enter your highest. Merge with it. Dissolve into it. Expand infinitely in all directions. What would you call this state of being you're in? Where you are?
It just feels like no thing.
Give it a artistic name for your own sake.
A what name?
An artistic name, a fun name. Give it some...
Beyond.
The beyond. Beautiful. So I want you to identify that you are the beyond. That you are that. And everyone, whatever way you describe it, as light, emptiness, truth, expansion, oneness, unity, however you describe it, become one with it, absolutely. And expand. For you, it's the beyondness. Expand infinitely in all directions as the beyondness. And know that that is who you are at your core. It's the essence of your being. And knowing that you are the beyond, Carrie, how does that affect the previous goal, which is to feel?
a greater perspective, that feeling is desired.
Everyone at home, do the same. Knowing that you are this high state, in your case, the beyond, how does that affect the previous goal, which in your case is to be human? It includes it, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Merges.
It includes feeling.
Knowing that you are the beyond, how does that affect the previous goal, which is compassion?
Well, it feels less saturated.
Exactly.
It feels more open.
How about the beyond? Knowing that you are the beyond, how does that affect the previous goal, which is love?
Again, it sort of neutralizes it.
And liberation?
It's neutral.
And what you originally started off with, which was this tension you had regarding your mom.
It's neutralized.
Beautiful. Keep breathing that and expand out infinitely in all directions. It's not as consequential or important or tension-filled now. You've released, you've integrated the charge. Now in your body, where this aspect used to be, where you mentioned it's a circle and all of that, everyone imagine that the light of the divine is above us. Call upon the light of the divine, like a blazing sun, to pour down and breathe in this divine light into where the aspect was originally. Now it's void there because we've integrated it. So let your inner self be filled with divine light, nourishing you from the inside out. And when your being feels filled with light, radiate that out in all directions. And at a soul level, release that, let it go. And now, with a namaste to yourself, to anyone involved, namaste to them and honoring. Anyone who was involved in the beginning or the creation of this tension. And now openness with all that is. Merge with all that is. And when you're ready, you can take a few deep breaths and come back to presence here.
Beautiful. Yeah.
What are you more conscious of now than before?
I'm more conscious that it was an illusion of some sort that felt really real.
Yeah.
It was an illusion that felt really real and had a lot of momentum in my life.
And what's good about going through this for you, what we just went through?
Well, I feel more neutral about it, and I feel more liberated. And I don't feel like I need to engage anything. Like, I feel like it's just not part of my reality.
One last integration question, and that is, what's an action you can do today that's going to further the development of this knowingness? One thing that'll better your life from where you're at now.
Well, I think one thing I could do would be to spend some time integrating this.
Yes.
And do some kind of ritual around releasing the old stuff, releasing the old stories and old energy.
Beautiful.
Like in the physical reality.
Yes.
To make it real for my brain and tangible that, yeah, that just happened and we're done with that.
Beautiful. bravo for yourself, all who
Yeah, man.
participated in this and were practicing it. And if you rewind this, you can use this on anything that you're tense with. So if those of you who are working on doing this with us, if it didn't work out just right, do it again. Find something that's really eating away or causing some type of negative state in you. Do this, go through the guided experience, and you'll find you're going to come out with far more wisdom, alignment, and connection to the transcendent.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing to me because even at the retreat with you, when I was at the retreat with you, we did a little role playing there. And it was like I had a chance to release a lot of pent up energy that I had around the situation, a lot of pent up anger. And I think this is like really important, Satyan, because I think a lot of what's going on in our humanity at this moment, which could change at any moment, is a lot of this repressed stories and energies and things that haven't been looked at or haven't been dealt with or haven't been expressed and released from the body. And, and so it causes, this ongoing duel, like, so to speak, with each other.
This is the key. The key is to recognize that the obstacles on our path within are units of contracted life force, energy. And when opened up, like one way we did was today, then rather than being them taking away from your life flow, now your life flow will be far more smooth and joyful and easeful.
Yeah. Now, I know that you also teach this process, right? Like you teach practitioners to use this process with their, no matter where, whatever kind of business you have, or you can see how useful this was. And it's
from a body of work that we have called Accelerated Evolution. So we have my academy that you can find on our warriorsage.com. And in there, you'll see the Accelerated Evolution Academy, or you can go directly to acceleratedevolutionacademy.com. And in there, there's a series of psychospiritual methods we train anyone who wants to have a rapid and deep inner awakening, and so that it's pragmatic and real and you can do it yourself.
Yeah, because this is the time for self-actualization on the planet, the top of the pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right?
Absolutely. I believe that those dimensions, the transcendent dimensions, is we are here. We have access. We access to it right now. It's not something that you have to now put away or go to the top of a mountain somewhere. We have access to spirit, to transcendence within now. And this is the time to continuously anchor ourselves in the transcendent so we can deal with the things of life with a breath of fresh air, with lightness of being, with profound joyfulness and okayness and relaxation.
Yeah, and one of the things, and we're going to wrap up in just a minute, but one of the things that people have been saying is so important is that the brilliance is on the other side of this shift. So like all the problems, everyone's like, oh, we have so many problems. How are we going to solve all the problems now? It's just like, going to hell in a handbasket, la, 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 la. No, like from this state of being, the brilliant solutions are like this. They're in the flow. Bam, that's solved. Bam, that's solved. Like in a day, a week, a month, a year. Like this is not toiling away, shoving things up the mountain. This is the direct path. That's why it's so important to have transcendent leaders on the planet at this time.
Struggle is effort that's laced with negative emotion. We need to have effort. We need to do things and act. But when we add all this extra layer of struggle dynamics on top of the actions that we need to do, 1, 2, 3 actions today will move us forward. When we do those actions clearly and cleanly and from a place of transcendence and lightness, then everything moves forward. It's all that extra baggage that we drum up that's holding us back. And here we know now. So we can have action without struggle.
We can have action. Excellent. So I'm going to give you guys an action without struggle. Click like and share this out and leave a comment so more people find this. Share it out with your communities and check out Satyan's website. I'll have all the links in the show notes. And then let's give everybody kisses, Satyan. We're going to give you guys kisses on the way out. We'll see you guys next time.
Yes, I want to see you.
Kisses!
Thank you. And Manyfold in return. Manyfold.
Yay, I felt that. All right, everybody, have a great week. We'll see you next time on Soul Nectar Show. Thanks, Satyan.
Thank you.
Bye for
Much
now.
love.
Awesome. All right, getting you out of here.
Thank you, love.
You.